everybody, welcome to
Hello.
Britpops React. You're on me, BP1 and BP2, and today we are
Oh,
back with, well, we've done Mr. Lost in the Ponds, Laurence
Yes.
before, haven't we? Quite a few.
We have, yeah.
We do overall enjoy his videos, so this one is a fairly new one from Laurence. 6 house objects only used after moving to America. So he's basically saying he never used these in Britain before he went to America, so therefore we don't do this sort of thing, whatever he's using, whatever he's doing.
Okay. Interesting. I mean, yeah, the good thing, obviously, we like Laurence because he's sort of done the groundwork for us. He's from here and he's moved over there, so he's sort of putting into words and pictures what we would probably be doing if we went over there ourselves, which is quite nice. So we're following in his footsteps, although we're not there. So big props to Laurence for doing all the lifting and shifting. We're just sort of
we're just reacting to it, just sort of saying,
reacting to it, and giving
that's his experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we're just
what would our experience
tagging
be
on the back to his experience. So
yeah.
All right, well, let's just check them out. So this is 6 house objects only used in America.
Right. Okay.
Oh, well. All right.
With me as we look at 6 housing objects that I only encountered after moving to the United States. It's locked again. 2 words, public toilets. And I know what you're thinking. Ooh, Laurence, what have public toilets got to do with houses? And the answer is simple. Nothing. But they do very neatly lead me into my next point, so shut it. Because you've probably heard Brits like me moaning about the lack of privacy in American public toilets, because you've got that gap and everything. Well, when it comes to our respective houses, that dedication to privacy, or privacy, depending on how you say it, is reversed. What? How? Do British rooms have gaps in the door? No, I'm not talking about gaps. Right. I'm talking about locks on the door. Furthermore, I'm not just talking about bathrooms, but several rooms in the house. In America, many rooms, and in particular bedrooms, will have a lock on the doorknob that looks a little bit like this. Growing up in Britain, I found these to be far less common, which is a shame because they just give you that peace of mind that somebody's not going to walk in on you while you're reading a book. And for lock completists, they might sometimes take the form of a button, but there might also be some sort of rotating lock mechanism that looks like this. So to recap, while Americans might not value public toilet privacy, the opposite is true with bedrooms.
This is very true, you know, we'll stop there, because it is 100% true. In all the houses that I've ever lived in, I don't have locks on any doors other than the bathrooms.
Toilets,
that's it. Yeah, no locks are not even on the ensuite. If you've had an ensuite, there's nothing, no lock there, no lock on the bedroom. Yeah, it's just the bathroom and the toilet. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I mean, though the type of locks that he was showing there, they're sort of familiar with hotels and places like that. If you went to stay in a hotel, if they had an adjoining room or something, they'd have a lock similar to that. But yeah,
what's interesting, and for safety as well in the UK, on the locks that we do have on the outside, if your kid gets locked in the bathroom, which I've had, you know, daughter's friend has got locked the door and can't unlock it, you've got your screwdriver on the outside because you've got the little gap to unclip, twist and get in. So there is that from privacy point of view. But on those doors, the little button there, that didn't look like there was no way of, if you're locked in, you're like, what's the...
I don't know if there's a key system on the other side. Sometimes there might be a key in...
If it locks, or you can't do it for some reason. I'm just saying, if you went in, maybe you chopped your hand off or something, and you went and you had no hands to try and open the door.
Yes, you got your feet. No, but on the outside, you got a key. So somebody can come with a key and unlock it, and then it opens up.
Yeah, but it didn't look it from his screenshot anyway. But there you go.
Is that Nick Frost on his t-shirt?
Nick Frost? I don't know.
Looks like it. There you go. So all right, we'll save that as a tick. Yeah, we don't have that in the UK.
All right, moving on.
Sometimes Britain and America seem like alternate versions of each other, and perhaps one of the finest examples of this can be found in the delivery of post, except Americans don't call it post, they call it mail. And while us Brits like to distinguish between a mailbox on the street, in other words a post box, and a residential mailbox, aka a letterbox in your door, us Americans call this a mailbox and this a mailbox. It's all a bit confusing. Thankfully, in this video, I'm just talking about this. To Americans, this low-shaped contraption has just simply been a way of life since the day they were born. Perhaps some Americans don't even give them a second thought. But to people like me who grew up in a different country with different mailboxes, there's a certain charm to them. After all, the only time that we get to see these outside of living here is in the movies. Oh look, here's Kiefer Sutherland playing mailbox baseball in Stand By Me. Here's Forrest Gump, the kid from The Sixth Sense, framed by a gorgeous line of mailboxes while the kid is too busy looking at Bubba, Jenny and Forrest's mum in the distance. Here's a mailbox playing a key role in a Keanu Reeves, Sandra Bullock film that sadly isn't Speed, but a film you don't remember called The Lake House. And here's a pair of wayward vandals graffitiing a mailbox in Up. It's been a while since I've seen that film, but I'm pretty sure that's what's happening here. The point is, American movies have this uncanny knack of making things seem almost magic, even things as simple as this. And as somebody who, for the past 14 years, has only lived in rented American accommodation, I'd been used to picking up my mail from what was essentially a glorified high school locker. This represents my first proper American mailbox, and I feel like I've finally arrived. In the past, I've told you about...
Mailboxes, right? So yeah, we call them post boxes, like you said, and the letterbox, post box.
Yes.
Letterbox. And I've always had a letterbox.
Yeah.
I don't know, probably 37 years of my life, and then recently, because we've got a dog, every letter that seems to come through the letterbox, the dog's on it. So we've had to put a post box on the wall outside, which is a bit like, I guess, the mailbox in America, which is at the end of your driveway or whatever. It's just on the wall. So, but not all of the people delivering, because we have a postman, don't we, that delivers the mail. We have leaflet droppers. We have charity bags, you know, to put your clothes in and stuff. They come, don't they, and they put them through. And those are the things that end up going through the letterbox because they just don't see the post box like the post does.
Yep.
And they just get annihilated.
And as you say, I mean, it's you know, with your DPD. I mean, lockdown changed a lot of things, didn't it? Before, if you needed to sign for something, they'd take it away. Now they still, well, they did in lockdown, just leave it, sign it for you. So I think we upgraded to a box at the end, you know, so that we didn't have stuff coming through the letterbox. But yeah, interesting note. I mean, they always do seem to be in the movies, those ones with the pull down lever, so that you know that you've got post. Over here, always been a letterbox straight into the house, isn't it?
I suppose that's another thing, isn't it? So if you are going to have your post box at the end of your drive, you want to know if there is something in there or not. Otherwise, you're just going to be forever going down.
Yeah, so the little red flag thing, I mean, simple but effective.
If you watched this before, which I know you probably have, or watched a couple of videos, there's always something for everybody on our channel. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and come with us at Britpops React. We enjoy everybody's input. We know that on some of our videos, sometimes the information's not right. You know, we were talking about American pancakes, weren't we, recently?
Big controversy.
Very big controversy. We thought, you know, even in Britain, you actually go and buy American pancakes in a packet, and they come small, round, and fat. They're actually called American pancakes, but a lot of you, if you're watching us from America,
dismiss that fact.
No, that's not the case. You know, we have them larger, thinner. So it was interesting to hear that feedback, because that's all. Even if you type into Google American pancakes, that's what you get.
That's what they
small,
come up
round,
as.
Fat ones, yeah. There you go. Anyway. Let's keep going.
How during the summertime it's useful on American houses to have a bug shield. That way you can open your windows, or in this case your door, and in theory this makes it harder for bees and mosquitoes and all of the other insects to get into your house. Doesn't seem to work, but the theory's good. But one thing I haven't spoken about is winter time, because when the temperatures plummet to minus 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, there aren't really many bugs trying to get in anyway. Instead, you have to protect your door from the elements. And that's where the storm door comes in. Sorry, I don't have much room here. Can I switch places? The storm door, where you can see this light is reflecting onto, is a door that sort of sits outside of the main door, and it sort of serves two purposes. Firstly, it's another barrier for burglars to have to overcome. And secondly, when you've got frost and snow and rain, it sort of protects this door from getting ruined by those weather elements. And in addition to storm doors, you also have storm windows, which sort of do the same thing for windows that this does for the doors. And that's really it, because we don't have storms quite of the severity that you might experience here in the Midwest. Storm doors and storm windows aren't really that common in Britain, hence why they made it onto this list.
Okay.
Interesting one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, most of the doors now are sort of UPVC doors, so protecting them is a bit mute. Double glazed windows. I mean, we do, you know, sometimes even in the summer here, we'll open the front door, then we'll put up one of those big long tape things to stop bugs flying in, but you can have the door open. But as I say, half the time it's not warm enough to warrant having a mosquito net thing, because we don't really get mozzies and stuff like that. You may get the odd annoying fly or the wasps that come out, but most of the time not that much that really gets on your wick.
No, I mean, yeah, storm door. Interesting. I get the value of that. I mean, you know, our front door gets battered quite a bit, you know, from the rain and the winds and stuff like that. So, you know, I always look out there and have to wash it, or I'm thinking, I need to repaint this every 2 or 3 years, you know, need to nick a paint. So I get that the protection side for that is quite good. But then again, if it was in America and that was the case, I would probably just have one door that had an outer panel built on it,
or go UPVC. But the thing that was strange to me was his front door opened in and his storm door opened out. If you had 5-6 foot of snow, you wouldn't be able to open that door out, would you?
Right, I see, and that's really important, because
if
you can't,
because then you're locked in. So that was a bit of a strange one, and it was glass, so you know it was a glass door. So I mean, if you had heavy snowfall, that would probably break. So I guess they're not all the same.
Was it glass perspex? Yeah, I'm not sure. It's interesting. All right, the
What
next
do we
one
know?
clearly is AC generator, which it's true straight away. Well, is it? Last year was the first time I actually bought an AC. Not a generator, but a little unit,
small
because it
portable
was
unit.
so hot.
Yeah, but that's not an AC. That's not an AC.
No, that's not an AC.
Hello,
No,
what's this?
because you need a
fan
generator
outside of my house. Might have to put in a restraining order. Seriously, I did have to do that 3 years ago, so keep your distance. In previous videos, you've heard me talk to death about how American homes have air conditioning and British homes just don't. And so I don't want to dwell too much on what happens with air conditioning inside the house, but rather outside. Because you see, for the first time since I moved to the United States, the air conditioning in my home is entirely central air. In other words, the aircon is built entirely into the house instead of me having to install window units, which is great. And because of that, we have this thing, which I haven't really learned the name of. Perhaps it's a generator of some kind. Anyway, what it does is it sits outside, the fans spin around, and it creates airconage. And the outsides of many houses will feature one of these throughout the United States. I have heard that it requires a little bit of maintenance and cleaning, so after this video goes out, I will be reading all about that with a hot bath.
So he's got a new gaff by the sounds of it. He's got a new place. So obviously he said he was renting.
Yes.
And now he's obviously bought a house out there. So
Good for him, yeah.
That's good. Yeah, so we don't have that, do we? At all.
Nope.
In no houses, obviously. Outside AC generator. So yeah, we're pretty good actually, all of them so far. And it'd be interesting, imagine having a house living like that, you know, with doors like that, like a double door. Locks on every door. Yeah, but it's a completely sort of different way of living at home as well, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I mean, as we mentioned before, we don't go down the AC route because not really hot enough here.
No.
In new builds now, it's more common to have the underfloor heating put in, isn't it?
That's true. Yeah, that's starting to go in now into the kitchens and stuff like that. Because It's more cold over here than it is warm, isn't it? We have
It
like
is,
3
indeed.
weeks of actual heat, and the rest of the year it's
a bit milder. So yeah. There you go. All right.
There you go. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. It does help us out at the channel. It gets this video out to more people as well, which spreads the love for both us and Laurence. All right, just keep on going.
From fans outside my house to fans above my bed. Seriously, don't get any ideas. I am married. But in much of the United States, just as with air conditioning, ceiling fans are found in most houses. Now, for the past 15 years, in a variety of rented American apartment complexes, I've always had ceiling fans that had a chain that you pulled to get the fan going. But now, with the acquisition of my first American house, things work a little bit differently. It's doing it. That was a trick. I was actually using a remote control. Still cool though, isn't it? Literally. I've just realised it's winter and this should not be on.
Okay.
Remember
that was a simple one.
Yep.
Ceiling fans. I mean, when I was growing up, we did have one actually. I wouldn't say it was uncommon in the United Kingdom. It was quite a bit of fashion. It was a little fashion statement when they first come out, didn't it?
Went through a phase, didn't we, of having those, ceiling fans with the lights, the glamorous lights on them. Probably, like I say, your parents in the 80s decided we're going to go down the ceiling route fan. You could pick them up at any
it was
any
late
Argos.
80s, late 80s in the. Was it, I don't know. We had like a little outside extensiony bit. It was small, but yeah, that went in. Yeah, and it was like a big deal, and it was like, watch this.
Yes, one chain on,
and it was someone breathing on you like that. It wasn't particularly.
No, it was more of a fashion statement. I'd say probably around about the same time as archways in your house and Artex. Oh. Remember, everybody knocked through their kitchen, didn't they? They put an arch in, took the door away, and then just Artexed everything. And we'll have a ceiling light fan.
But the ceiling, they were Artex just like this, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, and what to paint, isn't it?
To try and get it off again.
Or get it off, yeah. Absolutely horrendous. Yeah. I bet there's a lot of places out that still got that Artex up there.
Oh,
mate.
yeah. Mm.
All right. Let's keep going.
My last video, when I showed you around my garage and we found this spare gate hanging around in the rafters, well, it turns out this isn't a spare gate, but a missing one. Since I announced that I'd become a United States citizen and bought my first American house, some of you sent me messages along the lines of, "Oh, well done, Laurence, you are living the American dream." But last time I checked, the perfect picture of the American dream involved having a white picket fence. And I don't have any data to back this up, it's just all from observation. Right. But it feels like, at least here in the Midwest, that there are far fewer white picket fences and a great deal more chain link. Some Americans that I've spoken to seem to be of the opinion that chain link fences are kind of ugly. And I sort of agree, but if I put together a large enough collection of these fence pieces, I might be able to construct my own hell in a cell in the back garden. Anyway, we don't really use this style of fence much around British gardens. No. And from memory, this is the first chain link fence that I've had since moving to the United States.
Wow.
That's it for this episode.
Okay.
Chain link fences. I remember them in the 80s around sort of council estates.
That's to keep them in, keep the people in.
But, you know, nowadays we're all wooden fences, aren't we? Which are not see-through. Yeah. We like our privacy in the UK, don't we? So we normally whack up a lot of 6 foot wooden fences.
Yeah,
just look a bit like
panels.
this, actually.
6 foot panels. As soon as the wind comes along, you end up losing a few. I mean, that's around the houses. I mean, chain link fences, you'll still get that around parks and schools. They'll have chain. So we're not.
Just not on houses, not so much on houses.
No. Prisons, they'll have them.
Prisons, yeah. It's an interesting one, isn't it? I suppose it's... In America, it's robust. Mm-hmm. It's not cheap, is it? It's not going to be cheap to put that in over a wooden fence.
No.
So I'm not sure about that, but
low maintenance.
Low maintenance, yeah. True, yeah. So I can see the flaws for it, but he is right. It's a little bit ugly. It's uglier than having a nice wooden fence.
Nice wooden fence. You can have something growing up, or if you were to leave it and the weeds start going, then the weeds would just go rampaging through that. They'll have something nice to hold on to.
Oh, they would, wouldn't they?
Ooh, then trying to get that off would be awful.
Would,
not good.
Yeah. No. Well, there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed us reacting to 6 objects only really found or used in America compared to us in the United Kingdom. Spot on, really, I thought, with all of those.
Yeah.
So he did a good job on that. And, yeah, enjoyed that.
Another
little eye-opener for us Brits on how the US live their life. Have you got any videos out that you've watched before and you think, these guys need to check that one out? Drop it in the comments of this video. It does help us out as we're looking for new content to share with our subscribers. Until then, it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from him. Oh, yes. Go and put that lock on your door.
He's a 20th century boy.